Okay, good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
So, okay, first we're just gonna look at this picture right here. What kinds of things do you notice about this picture? Like, for example, I noticed that there's dramatic colors. So, what kinds of things do you notice?
Got a bed out in the middle. Is it a bed?
Is it a bed,
It's like
right?
a-
There's a lot of questions that come to your mind. Is it a bed? Is she on the river? What's happening?
Her hair stands out a lot.
Yeah, her hair stands out. It's dramatic, right?
There's a lot of detail to her clothing.
A lot of detail. Tons in here. If the light was off, you could probably see every little thing and all in here. Is it realistic or not realistic? Pretty realistic. And it kind of makes you wonder what's happening, right? So this is an example of, well actually, I won't tell you yet. Okay, now when you look at this picture, what do you see? What do you notice? Hmm?
There's something right there.
There's something right here. What is it? Can you guys guess what this is?
Okay.
Hey, how'd you know? Okay, what else do you notice about it?
There's a lot of darker colors at the bottom and lighter colors at the top.
Darker colors. And do you think the colors are as dramatic as the other picture?
No.
No, maybe a little bit muted. What about the brush strokes?
You can see them.
You can see probably every little part. Yeah. So what do you guys think the difference is between this, the main difference that you see between the first picture and the second picture?
Style.
Right, how clear it is, that's good. And the style. What about the style, Genevieve? This art person here.
Well, this is impressionism.
Oh, perfect. That is great, bringing us into it. So this is the impressionist style, and the other one, can you guess?
Realistic.
Realistic or the romantic era. So we're going to just talk about different eras of art. So actually just the romantic era and the impressionist era. And that includes lots more than just art, also music and literature, but we're just going to look at art. So our outcomes. Carissa, can you read the first one?
Learners will be able to categorize a painting into either romantic or impressionistic art era.
Yes. And then Kelly, could you read the second one?
Learners will be able to identify one characteristic of both romanticism and impressionistic era.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to write it, right? Impressionistic, yeah, or an impressionist, right? Or romantic era. Okay, cut off the top. What do you think this looks like, maybe? Does it look like the haystacks picture or the one in the boat?
Or the bold.
The one in the boat. So that one is romantic era. It would say that at the top to make it clearer, but that's okay. So this is the romantic era, and there's some definite characteristics about that that you should know. So, Sai, can you read the first one?
Express the triumph of imagination and individuality.
Okay, and that's just the kind of general feel of the whole era, right? And then Genevieve,
Bold colors, dramatic setting.
okay, which you can see. What, can you tell what's going on here?
Are they a wall or something? Or are they fishing?
Yeah, it looks like maybe war or something. The boat is tilted so you can see it's just a dramatic setting, right? And then the last one, emotions, feelings, and moods of all kind, including spirituality, imagination, mystery, and fervor. So the first picture with the woman in the boat, what kind of mood did you get from that? Maybe
Spirituality.
mystery, maybe, yeah. Actually, the first one is a painting of a poem, and then this one is shipwreck by this person. So anyway, dramatic, right? So you really felt. Okay. Oh, you can see this one, impressionism. Oh, well, it's in here. Okay, so, but it's okay. It mostly just cuts off the first part. So, rapid, spontaneous, and loose brushstrokes. So you can see that in this one as well, right? You can see all the little brushstrokes as well as the haystacks painting you saw before. And then Megan, can you read the next one?
Yep. Artists Seeks capturing fleeting effects of natural light.
Yes. So the main idea in the whole Impressionist era is that these people, this artist, Claude Monet, he's really famous Impressionist artist, and he knows how to paint it exactly like the Romantic era, but that's not what he wants to do. He wants to focus on how the light hits it, how it looks in this specific time of day, right? So it's focusing on the natural light. Okay, the next one, Chris, I can do that.
Faces painted in an impressionist style might seem blurry or without a lot of detail.
Right, and then colors might appear muted, so that's pretty common of it. If it's like a landscape, a little bit muted. So, okay, so which era do you think this is from? Impressionist. How do you know? Megan?
It's not quite as, I mean, there's details, but it's not like sharp. I don't know how to explain it. Like the brush strokes seem different in this one.
Right,
than
like,
the other one.
see here, you can see all these
Yeah.
different colors. And what about the faces?
I think the keyword is a blur.
Blur.
That's what helps.
Yeah, so the idea of this is like, if you were walking into a scene like this, would you see every single detail of every single person's face? No, so that's what they're trying to capture, this art, the Impressionist era, is just like what you would see. It's just kind of like, yeah, see? So some other characteristics, so the blurry face, the brush strokes, and what's another characteristic of Impressionist art?
Colors.
Yeah, there's not tons of really, really blurry things.
Right, the colors, they're kind of like a little bit blurred together. You can see the difference, of course, but it's muted, right? Good. Good. Okay, and what about this one? Sorry. It's art. Okay, so which area do you think this is? Obviously. Romantic, right? And so what characteristics can you tell?
Bold colors.
Bold colors, right? Really dramatic. Like, I would say the contrast. Look, it's black and then it's like almost white right here. See?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, what other characteristics of romantic art is there?
You can see the like the expressions on people's faces.
Right, like look at his face. And here.
The emotion.
Do you see that when you look at this, do you wonder what the story is? You know? I guess in this one, Impressionist, you could probably wonder what the story is, but it's more of a, like a, you know, this one you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? This is about the story.
More dramatic.
Yeah. Okay, so you said the colors are dramatic, the contrast, and then, what else did you say? The emotions and the story, and the detail, yeah. It's realistic, so. Good job. So you guys think you're like art experts now, right, on these two? Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna work in groups. Once I divide you into groups, the red team will be here with the red striped paper and the blue team here with the blue striped paper, obviously. You'll have two pictures on each that are flipped over right now, and one is romantic and one is impressionistic era. And you're gonna glue it onto the paper wherever you want. And then, so both photographs, and then label them as either romantic or impressionistic. And then list two qualities of each photo of why you think it's that, from that era. So I'm gonna leave this up here, but when I divide you, there's gonna be 3 different roles in your group. So if you get a blue paper, one that has a blue on it, you could be a leader, the artist, or the scribe. So the scribe will just write down what the group talks about. The artist gets to decide where the pictures go and where everything goes on it, and then the leader will just make sure you have enough time, okay? So here, you pick your group. Cheating. See, now you got to pick your group. I'm just kidding. Okay. And there's no artist for the red team, so you're both the artists. Okay, so you can go ahead and go to your
Right.
group here.
I'm just gonna leave it to you.
put you in the mood.
Oh.
This is music that would come from the Impressionist era. So, also from Twilight. But first from the Impressionist era. Oh, and you have until the music ends, which is 3 minutes. So. The printers we have in school are like nice, right? Just the lights. I think it was like 25. Maybe it was 50 cents. Yeah, it's 20 cents. Who's the artist? Oh, great choice. Glad that happened. But we're all artists, right?
Yeah.
Especially now. When you're just, you know,
I think this one's nice. Like the color.
Are you sure?
Oh, it's like
Wrong.
sorry. Okay, so why is this one the precious?
Not making video. It's a little
Wait, when they go spider monkey in the forest. This is clearly.
Okay, one more for this one.
Are you sure? Yes. Why?
So what's one of their reasons?
This one, that should be.
Yeah, that was just light. They kind of blur in the
Oh. Did it end?
and this one is what is it? Muted colors.
You can see the
Yeah, the brush. Oh, the lighting, the contrast and effect lighting.
tell me what's the word?
Dramatic, like,
The bold colors and bold and red.
And what about the brushstroke?
they're just like little teeny tiny. There's a lot of contrast. Yeah.
Right down.
You can just explain it. You're gonna explain it to each other, of course.
The dab.
The dab. That was very like teaching. Very academic.
It's dramatic colors. Mine. Brushstroke. Mine is
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna go there. Sierra Nevada mountains, where that is.
Oh, that's one.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah.
And it's really abstract.
think we're about to Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Just have one more minute. Can add a little details.
Hurry. Quick brush stroke was there playing that it's understandable. There's no mystery to it, like it doesn't tell a story. It's a landscape. Aren't you looking at me, Karen?
Few more minutes. Okay, finish up your last thoughts. And then we're gonna have some we're gonna have the blue team go first. And red team, you can sit in your chairs and then we'll switch.
Okay, so we have these two lovely paintings. And so what we noticed about the Impressionist piece is the light and the shadows are very prominent and focused on the natural light. The brush strokes are visible and it's a simple painting. It's like there's not a lot going on, there's not like a story or anything. It's just a landscape.
And then our romantic picture is a painting of Napoleon. And you can notice the colors right away. There's a lot of contrast with the shadow of his horse and his clothing. And so it's very dramatic with the posing, and there's a lot of details. If you look close, you can see his uniform and the surrounding area.
Beautiful. Both wrong. No. Okay, and red team. Oh.
Dying. Okay, so our first painting we decided was Impressionist, because you can see the little small brush strokes, and it's also kind of blurry, like it's not super detailed in like their faces, and just everything is kind of a little bit blurry and not as detailed.
The other painting is what we decided was from the Roman era because of its bold colors. How these colors complement each other. And it's very detailed. It's more detailed than the other painting. You can see the actual leaves in the trees, and there's a mountain if you look closely, like it's covered with snow. So we chose this to be romantic. That's the hearts.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I like all the details you guys added and the characteristics you learned about each era. So now that you've learned a lot of different characteristics about the Romantic era and the Impressionist era, I want you to turn to your neighbor, and you can be the three, and just tell which one you personally prefer based on the characteristics. What characteristics do you like about Impressionist, and which ones do you like about Romantic, but which one do you prefer? Okay, ready, go.
So I took French in high school and did like a whole section on French. And I was like, oh, that's a question. I was like, I can't think of it. I always like the Impressionist, like
But I do like the
I think I'm more
because like it
leaning
portrays
towards
like
romantic because I like it when
and
it's clear.
you know
Like, it's just so
done
impressive.
every
Because the women
different
like
way.
that be like a photograph.
you know and so
Absolutely, it kind of.
for that reason
Yeah, like that.
I prefer Impressionism.
Yeah,
But I really,
so-
enjoy
I think I followed.
um,
I probably say that
because
Romance ones too, because
art isn't about drawing or.
whereas our mission explained all like the art that I saw was that type of art.
Photorealistic.
Like you said, like there is huge paintings, but they're so detailed as to be a picture. It's just cool, the contrast.
As you yourself sees it.
Did you say which one you prefer?
Well, I think I prefer the one to see
Yeah, she said it kind of depends.
So like I think I would
I like it
like
because it's pastel colors.
You
Over
can also
that
have
romantic.
use pastel colors for
Nice.
Yeah.
that's more of what it is.
Exactly, that's good.
That one isn't really pastel colors.
Okay, so, bringing it to a close now, do you want to just share one thing that each of you talked about, each group?
So, we talked about the bold colors and romanticism and like the contrast in light as well. We talked about impressionism. Well, I personally like impressionism better because it's portraying life as one sees it, not as a photograph
Nice.
can portray it.
And you prefer
Yeah, we both like romanticism.
both like romance?
You kind of said that it kind of depends on like each photo, but we kind of like romantic color.
But it depends, like you said. You
Yeah,
like this
like
one.
it depends on what the picture is.
Right,
More specifically.
perfect. Well, you guys did a really good job. You're all art experts on the impressionist and romantic now. So, good job.